Nottingham's famous Goose Fair is back for its 10-night run in 2024, attracting some of the bigger machines in the UK fair circuit. There are so many rides. Which one of the 2 crazy mouse roller coasters or 10 waltzers should you pick? But there's also some unusual things, like the spinning nope of Equinox, the absolutely giant aerospace, this super futuristic X-ray rotor, Jason Beetlejuice's haunted house, super long boy fries, and glittery fabulous hooker duck. In this episode we'll take a little tour around the Goose Fair. How expensive are the rides this year? What are the people charging? Along with some practical tips on the best ways to get there. Let's take a goosey gander at Nottingham's Goose Fair 2024. Hey, this is Stu for Out and Back Travel. I make videos like this one to help inspire your own theme park travels. If you like what I do, please help me out on YouTube by hitting the like button and subscribing, thank you. In a slightly different video today, we're visiting the Nottingham Goose Fair, as the partner I have access to loves fair rides, the spinnier the better. Me, not so much. I really can't handle spinning, so consequently I am doomed to spend my evenings standing around in drizzly fields inhaling red diesel fumes until our inevitable divorce. Goose Fair is a big deal. It's one of the few fairs in the UK where the really big equipment comes and attends. So you get slightly more interesting and an unusual lineup of attractions. 2024 is no different, and we have the headliners of Equinox, which recently returned to the UK from the USA, TopScan, and a Speed 32 Aerospace. Let's go over all the info you need to know about the Goose Fair in 2024. Well, it runs from Friday the 27th of September to Sunday the 6th of October. The fair opens 4 PM to 10:30 PM Monday through Thursday, 4 PM to 11 PM on Fridays with a half an hour extra, 12 noon to 11 PM on Saturdays, and 12 noon to 9 PM on Sundays. You'll find the fair at the Forest Recreation Ground in Nottingham, just slightly north of the city centre. There's free entry to the ground and you pay per ride. The nearest tram stop is the Forest. We used the Phoenix Park and Ride site and got the tram to the Forest. It was all nice and easy. The car park even had EV chargers, which we really appreciate. The day pass on the tram cost £5.40 per adult, and that was cheaper than getting 2 singles. It's good to know that the planned tram strike has now been called off and all services are running as normal throughout the duration of the Goose Fair. Now you can get 50p off ride tokens in the local newspapers or on the Visit Nottinghamshire website, where for £1 per adult or £3 for a family of up to 2 adults and 3 kids, you can purchase a voucher to unlock those 50p off the selected rides. Now your mileage will vary on which rides are accepting the vouchers, and just to let you know, they're not valid after 6 PM if you're going on a Friday night. What's it like to visit the Goose Fair in 2024 then? First of all, it's worth mentioning there is a strong security and police presence, so everything feels very safe. The edges are all gated and there's even CCTV, so they are doing their best to keep everyone feeling safe. Practically, there are porta pissers if you need a toilet, which are free of charge and may be the scariest ride of all at the fair. There's also a mix of car park surfaces and these metal walkways over the grass section, so even with the predictable autumn rain, it's not going to get too muddy, and you can avoid the main of the mud by standing on the pathways. There's loads of food and treat kiosks. Our pick was these foot-long fries, and there was a moose bar that offered undercover seating in the rear, which was nice to get out of the drizzly rain. Of course, there are many arcades and game stalls, all waiting to shake every last coin out of your pocket, and even the hooker duck has had a glow up. Look at these fabulous glittery girls. I blame RuPaul. How much did it cost them? Well, it didn't seem there was much for less than £4 per ride. The waltzers were £4, the dodgems were £5 per car, so I guess that could be £2.50 each if you shared and split the cost. The tango and the TopScan was £6, and aerospace was the most I've ever paid for a fairground ride. Even the rides I've been on at Winter Wonderland were cheaper than this, and I'll let you know what I paid in the review in a few seconds. It will shock you how much we paid. What did we ride then? Well, aerospace was high on the agenda and it was the main draw for us to visit. A KMG Speed 32 ride is an incredible piece of machinery and we're so lucky to have one in the UK. Even more lucky the owners have taken the effort to travel it to the Goose Fair. This ride normally lives at Barry Island Park in Wales, where it spends most of the summer season. It travelled to the Goose Fair where it really dominated the skyline, and that's because it stands a whopping 65 metres or 215 foot tall. Now that's the same height as the big one in Blackpool, so it really is incredibly high up. And it reaches speeds of 75 miles an hour, so it's pretty bloody fast. We paid a pocket gouging £15 per ride and we got 5 rotations in one direction and then got unloaded. I have to say I was pretty disappointed it didn't at least travel in the other direction. I was looking at cycles off-ride and they seemed pretty inconsistent. Some went backwards and forwards, some didn't, but most of them didn't last too long at all. It was especially wounding as soon as we got off they flipped the price card to £10. I was absolutely raging. We also rode Top Scan. This is formerly Lightwater Valley's Whirlwind, which has always given great rides, and tonight was no exception with fast Larry cycles. Great to get back on this old friend. Equinox is a KMG Tango that recently returned to the UK after an extended residency in the USA. KMG were going through their torture phase when they did this one, as you ride in a strange stand-up seat, uncomfortably resting on your downstairs bits. It's a no for me. Once was enough, thank you. When I rode it back in the day, the partner I have access to had 2 rides and is really pleased it's back in the UK. NYC Taxi was an absolute riot. For £4 we got forwards and backwards rotations plus a snow machine in the face. So much fun and one of the best values of the night. Really great ride. Which one of the multitude of waltzers should be the pick to spend your hard-earned £4 on then? Well, we went for Percival's waltzer and were not disappointed. Maybe it was the intoxicating heady scent of cigarettes and grease from the muscly armed gladiator leaning in and spinning our car like crazy, spinning me right into a life conundrum, torn between the dilemma of this needs to stop now, I'm going to die, and I'm from Yorkshire and I'm really getting my money's worth the longer this continues. It was a conundrum, guys. Overall, we had a great night at the Goose Fair. It's not something we do every year as it is a pricey one, so it's maybe a once every 5 or so year treat for us. If you are going, I'd recommend setting a budget so you don't overspend when you get there. Get the money off coupons from the local newspapers or the Visit Nottinghamshire website to save a few quid, and take the tram to the forest stop. It's super easy to use and saves the hassle of getting into the city centre. What are your thoughts on the Goose Fair? How is this year's lineup for you? Which rides did you go on? Let me know in those comments below. And remember guys, until next time, stay safe on the way out and back.